You've served, you've found that perfect house, maybe you're already picking out paint colors, and then boom, this official document shows up, the notice of value.
Right.
It sounds important, maybe a little confusing.
It seemed that way, yeah.
So that's exactly what we're diving into today. What is this notice of value?
Exactly. We're digging into the VA's own guidance, specifically Chapter 13 of the VA pamphlet 26-7.
Okay.
This chapter got a big update July 2019 with a small tweak before that in April. So it's the current stuff.
Good. So for you listening, our mission today is pretty clear. Cut through that confusion.
Yeah.
We want you to walk away knowing what the NOV is, why it matters so much in your VA home purchase, and, how it actually affects things.
Think of it like getting the inside scoop on this key document. Yeah. Empowering you, really.
Right. And this Chapter 13, it covers quite a bit, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It goes into how the NRV gets issued, the whole appraisal review process, the system they use, AMS, appraisal management system, timelines, validity periods, and of course the conditions. Big topic.
We'll definitely hit the highlights most relevant for you, the veteran home buyer.
For sure.
All right, let's jump in. Where does this notice of value actually come from? What's its main job?
Okay, so the NOV doesn't just appear out of thin air. It happens after a VA-approved appraiser does their thing, assesses the property.
Yeah, the appraisal itself.
Exactly. They upload their report into the VA system, WebLGY.
WebLGY, got it.
Then it gets reviewed, either by someone called a staff appraisal reviewer or SAR at the lender, or by VA staff themselves. Only after that review is the NOV issued to the veteran.
So it's like the official conclusion after the appraisal gets a second look. What info does it actually give the veteran?
Its core job is simple. Tell you the results of that appraisal process.
Okay.
It states the appraised value very clearly, and crucially, it lists any conditions, things that must be met before the VA will guarantee the loan.
Conditions. Okay, yeah, let's definitely circle back hard on those. What else is important about the NOV?
Well, something really useful, I think, is that the NOV give you a heads up.
How so?
It specifically tells you, the veteran, that the appraisal, it's not a home inspection.
Oh, that's a key distinction.
Huge. It actually suggests you might want to get your own independent home inspection done, to really understand the physical condition of the house.
Right. The appraisal is more about the value for the loan. The inspection is about, well, what you're actually buying, warts and all.
Precisely. The appraiser looks at the property's financial health for the lender, you could say. The inspector looks at its physical health for you.
That's a great way to put it. Helps clarify the roles. Now, you mentioned the review process involves lenders sometimes, LAPP. What's that?
Right, LAPP. Lender Appraisal Processing Program. Some lenders are approved by the VA to manage the appraisal review process themselves internally. The idea is, if a property qualifies and the lender is LAPP approved, they should handle it. If they don't use LAPP for an eligible property and ask the VA to issue the NOV instead, they actually have to explain why. It's about keeping things moving efficiently.
Interesting. Streamlining where possible. So when the lender, or maybe the servicer later on, needs the final word on value or repairs for the VA guarantee, do they look at the original appraisal or the NOV?
Definitely the notice of value. That's the official document.
Okay.
The NOV reflects the outcome of that whole review process. So for the reasonable value, what repairs are mandatory, any other conditions tied to the appraisal for the loan guarantee. The NOV is the source of truth,
Yeah.
not the appraisal report itself.
Got it. NOV is the final word. Now, this review process you mentioned, the SAR review, can you give us a bit more detail on what actually happens there, behind the curtains, so to speak?
Sure, it's actually quite involved. When a SAR issues that NOV electronically through WebLGY, they're not just clicking a button. They are formally, electronically certifying something. They're stating they personally reviewed the entire appraisal report.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. They're confirming the property meets VA minimum requirements, that the appraiser's value conclusion seems appropriate, logical, supported, solid. It's a quality control step.
A critical second pair of eyes, then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And their certification statement is specific. It says they did this review. It's a due diligence check, but they aren't like co-signing the appraisal value or supervising the appraiser directly.
Okay.
Any back and forth, any clarifications they needed from the appraiser, disagreements even, that all gets documented in notes within the WebLGY system, like footnotes to the review.
And what exactly are they confirming when they make that certification? What are the key checks?
Several really important things. First, yep, they personally reviewed it all. Second, they generally agree with the appraiser's conclusions unless they've noted specific exceptions in those WebLGY notes.
Okay.
Third, and this is huge, they didn't pressure the appraiser. No undue influence to hit a certain number or anything like that.
That's vital for integrity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And finally, they attest that in their professional view, the appraiser used sound methods, the conclusions make sense based on the data, and they followed all the VA rules.
That sounds pretty thorough. What about this electronic scoring I read about? AMS.
Ah, yes, the Appraisal Management System, AMS. That's a VA tool. When the appraiser uploads the report, AMS scans it automatically.
On a computer check.
Sort of, yeah. It helps the SAR quickly flag potential risks. Is the property eligible? Does it meet basic VA policies? Are there signs of maybe over or undervaluation or just issues with the appraisal's quality?
So it helps focus the SAR's attention.
Exactly. AMS runs it against a bunch of programmed rules. It looks for inconsistencies, things that might need a closer look based on VA guidelines, industry standards,
USPP.
Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice, the rulebook for appraisers.
Gotcha. So what happens if AMS flags something?
It generates alerts. If it's a high alert, the SAR has to address it and explain their findings in those WebLGY notes.
Okay.
Medium or low alerts, they don't always need a comment, but the SAR still needs to review them. Often, an alert just points to a condition that needs to go on the NOV. Simple as that.
Right. So it ensures consistency, catches things. What about repairs? Appraisers often suggest repairs. Does the SAR just copy those onto the NOV?
Not automatically, no. The SAR looks closely at any recommended repairs, specifically checking if they relate to the VA's minimum property requirements, MPRs.
MPRs, the basic safety and livability standards.
Exactly. And here's the key part. The SAR can only require repairs on the NOV that are necessary to meet those MPRs.
Ah.
If the appraiser suggests something else, maybe a cosmetic thing or an inspection that isn't strictly an MPR issue, the SAR actually has to explain to the WebLGY notes why they aren't requiring it on the NOV.
So it prevents piling on unnecessary repair costs.
That's the goal. Stick to what's essential for the VA guarantee. Now, if the SAR does have questions for the appraiser, maybe something isn't clear or they disagree.
Yeah.
The first step is usually direct contact. SAR calls or emails the appraiser, tries to get clarification, maybe get a correction made.
And they document that contact.
Always. It all goes into the WebLGY notes. If the appraiser revises the report based on that conversation, the new version has to be uploaded.
What if they can't resolve it with the appraiser?
Then the SAR escalates it. They contact the VA Regional Loan Center, the ROC, for help. The VA staff there will work with the SAR to figure it out.
Okay, so there's a clear path. What if a property just seems like it won't meet the basic VA requirements at all? Like fundamentally flawed?
Good question. SARs are specifically told not to issue an NOV in that situation.
Really?
Yeah. If it's pretty clear the property can't reasonably meet eligibility or the MPRs before the loan closes, they stop the process there. No NOV issued.
That saves everyone a lot of hassle down the line, I imagine.
Exactly. No false hope.
So, assuming the property is okay and the review is done, what value goes on the final NOV? Is it always the appraiser's original number?
It has to be the appraiser's final estimate of market value. So if that communication between the SAR and appraiser resulted in the appraiser updating the value in a revised report, then that revised value is what must appear on the NOV. It reflects the appraiser's potentially refined opinion.
And how does this NOV officially get issued? Signed and sealed?
It's all electronic now.
Yeah.
No wet signatures. The SAR's name and VA ID number are automatically on the form.
Okay.
And since they log into WebLGY with their unique credentials, that login acts as their electronic signature, secure and efficient.
Makes sense. When does the veteran actually get their hands on this NOV?
On the same day it's issued electronically,
Yeah.
you, the veteran, get a copy of the NOV and full appraisal report together.
Oh, good. Both at once. Transparency.
Exactly.
So NOV is issued, veteran gets it. Is that the end of the road for appraisal stuff?
Almost, but not quite. A few things can happen next.
Like what?
Well, the lender's team working on your loan can then access and download everything from WebLGY.
Okay.
Also, as we touched on, you might have the option to request a waiver for some of those required repairs listed on the NOV.
Right.
And interestingly, other involved parties, maybe you, maybe the seller can request a reconsideration of value if there's disagreement with the appraisal amount.
Ah, okay. Those sound like topics for another day, perhaps.
Definitely deep dives in their own right.
Let's go back to those conditions on the NOV. You said they're critical. Why exactly?
Because every single condition listed on that notice of value, it has to be satisfied, checked off, completed, whatever it takes, before the VA will issue the loan guarantee. It's a must-do list.
Non-negotiable. Okay. Are these VA conditions the only requirements a veteran might face? Could a lender add more?
They absolutely can. Lenders might have their own requirements on top of the VAs. People often call these lender overlays.
Overlays.
But, and this is important, if it's not a VA requirement, it cannot be listed as a condition on the notice of value. The NOV is strictly for VA mandates.
That helps distinguish things. So you know what's coming directly from the VA versus the lender's own policies.
Precisely. Keeps it clear.
Okay, the NOV form itself has numbered items for these conditions. Can we maybe talk through some of the common ones you might see?
Let's do it. Good idea. First up is energy conservation, item 1.
Okay.
For existing homes older than a year or previously lived in item 1A might be checked. This basically signals that you could potentially increase your loan amount for energy efficiency upgrades.
Like solar panels or better insulation.
Exactly. New windows, that kind of thing. Item 1B is for new construction, not manufactured homes, though. Builders usually certify these meet certain energy standards. Manufactured homes handle energy stuff differently, so usually not marked there.
Got it. VA giving a nod to energy efficiency. What's next? A big one, I bet.
Number 2, wood-destroying insect information. Yep, termites and friends. If the property is in an area the VA maps deem very heavy or moderate to heavy for termites, you'll generally need an inspection report.
Makes sense.
Item 2A covers existing or new builds. 2B is for proposed. For brand new houses, sometimes a soil treatment guarantee from the builder works instead.
How long are those reports good for?
Usually 90 days for the inspection report itself. The treatment guarantees last much longer, obviously.
Okay. What about condos?
Interesting rules there. If it's a unit in a typical high-rise stacked building, usually no inspection needed unless the appraiser spots a problem. But for site condos, townhouses, villas where they aren't stacked vertically, you do need the inspection, unless the HOA has proof of treatment for the whole place.
Wow, specific. Okay. What about ongoing costs, like HOA fees?
That's lien-supported assessment item 3. If it's a PUD or condo, mandatory HOA fees have to be listed.
Right.
This also includes things like special assessments, maybe CDD fees, community development districts that local government collects for the HOA. Sometimes it needs to be disclosed.
Good to know those regular costs are factored in. What if access is via a private road?
Item 5, private road shared driveway. This gets checked unless it's a PUD condo where the documents already cover road maintenance, or if state law clearly outlines who's responsible for upkeep.
So ensuring there's a clear plan for access and maintenance.
Exactly. No questions about who fixes the road later.
Okay. Repairs again, item 9. What gets listed here specifically?
Repairs, item 9. This is only for repairs needed to meet those minimum property requirements, the MPRs.
Just MPRs. Got it.
Nothing cosmetic should be required here. If the appraiser found something actually defective, the NOV will probably say fix it, not just inspect it further.
Okay. Direct.
And if any repair might involve lead-based paint, the original appraiser has to certify it was completed correctly.
Safety first. Makes sense. Lots of conditions related to new construction too, right?
Oh yeah, several. Post-construction inspection, item 10. That's needed for all proposed construction, and also if a place was appraised subject to alterations being finished.
Like an addition being built.
Exactly. Then, new construction inspections warranty, item 11. The details depend on local building inspections. You might need the certificate of occupancy, or the lender certifies completion.
And the warranty?
Mandatory. Either a 1-year builder warranty or proof they enrolled it in a 10-year insured plan. Item 12, proposed construction, is very similar.
Okay. What about new manufactured homes? Different rules.
A bit, yeah. New or proposed manufactured home, item 13. Again, depends on local certificates of occupancy. If they issue one, you need that, plus the manufacturer's warranty and a 1-year builder warranty for the setup.
2 warranties.
Yep, one for the home itself from the factory, one for the installation work. If no local CO, the lender usually has to confirm it's properly set on a permanent foundation.
Lots of checks and balances there, nearly through the list. Water system.
Lead water distribution system, item 14. Requires a builder certification for all new proposed builds, and also if any repairs were done to the drinking water pipes. Certifies lead content is safe.
Good. And radon, that's a concern these days.
It is. Radon gas, item 15. For new proposed construction, the builder certifies they used radon-resistant techniques. They follow local codes or, if none exist, specific guidelines from the International Residential Code.
Okay, covering the bases there, that's a lot of potential conditions, and then there's always a catch-all.
Always. Other conditions, item 16. This is for anything specific that doesn't fit the other boxes.
Like what?
Could be unvented space heaters, being too close to an airport runway safety zone, rules about water cisterns, flammable storage tanks near the house, or just unique local requirements. Anything else goes here.
Ryu. Okay, so understanding these is definitely key to knowing what needs to happen before closing. Now, speed. Once the appraisal is done and uploaded, how fast should you get this NOV?
The VA really emphasizes timely service. They know you need this info before closing,
Right.
the standard expectation. The SAR should issue the NOV within 5 business days of getting that completed appraisal report in WebLGY.
5 business days, okay?
The only real exception is if there's a delay truly beyond the SAR's control. And if that happens, they have to document why in those WebLGY notes.
Accountability there. What if delays seem to be happening often with a particular lender?
If it's a LAPP lender, they're responsible for sorting out timeliness issues with their own staff and agents. If appraiser timeliness goals aren't being met consistently, the VA's regional loan center should be notified so they can step in and figure out what's going on.
Good to know there's oversight. Last piece on timing. How long is the NOV actually good for? Does it expire?
Standard validity is 6 months from the issue date.
6 months.
But if you, the veteran, are already under contract to buy the house during that 6 months, the loan process can continue right through closing, even if it goes slightly past that 6-month mark.
Oh, that's helpful flexibility.
It is. And the VA can also grant extensions to that validity period, but it's case by case. They'd have to review the situation and approve it.
Okay, that covers a lot of ground on the notice of value. As we wrap up, what's the absolute core takeaway for our listeners?
I'd say the main thing is, the notice of value is your official word from the VA process. It confirms the appraised value and, critically, spells out exactly what needs to be done, the conditions before the VA will guarantee that loan. It's your roadmap for that final stretch.
It really demystifies that part of the process. So thinking about everything that goes into creating that NOV, all the reviews and checks, maybe a question for you to consider is, what specific things on your NOV would you want to discuss further with your lender or agent?
Yeah, that's a good problem.
And also remembering that the appraisal isn't the same as getting a home inspection. What extra steps might you think about now to feel totally confident about the house's condition before you sign on the dotted line?
Food for thought, definitely.
Understanding this, notice of value really is a big piece of the puzzle for confidently navigating your VA home purchase. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.